I'm going to just put the book is Kagen water, scientific study results of the benefits of Kagen water in the human tissue culture and living human volunteers. And it is available. We're going to put a link in this particular recording at www.kangenwaterstorelv.com. I'm encouraging everybody to go out and buy as many of these they can over the Christmas holidays, or whenever you're watching this, if it's past Christmas. Get these out and get these into people's hands. Get them into people who have a little bit of maybe skepticism and demand scientific rigor. And also know that the money is going to a great cause because it's going to be to fund some further studies that will further solidify and prove some of the other aspects that you believe that this water positively affects in the human body. I'm correct with that? Did I say that correctly? Perfect. So with that, what we're going to do is we're going to go to questions and answers for Dr. Filzer. So for those of you who are still on the call, there's a number, oh, there's actually a lot of people on here. So if you want to type in a particular question related to Kagen water, please do so, and myself or Kim will bring that up. You can just type it into your computer. Okay, that's right. We got a bunch of people on here. And the one thing I have a question I want to lead off as some of these come up. And that is that you've been using, I believe, Kagen water in your wound healing clinic in Bullhead City. Is that correct?
Yes, I have. As you know, pH 2.5 is a strong oxidant, right? Because it's a positive pH. And it has an ORP, at least in my machine, of about 1300. And what it does, it produces a hypochlorite ion. And that water kills every germ known to man, including viruses. And I have hardcore evidence for that. We've had that tested in separate laboratories. And the beauty of it is the hypochlorite ion kills all germs, but because the water decays over time, because as it loses its electric charge, there is no tissue damage. If you use a fully buffered hypochlorite like Kagen solution, you can use it for a week or so, but after that it actually damages the tissue because it is so powerful and so strong. And so this has been, I think, very helpful in my clinic. We have very good results in my clinic.
And you deal with some pretty horrific conditions of open wounds. I've saw some of the pictures, and of course we know we have antibiotic resistant strains of bacteria, which are a problem. Is it effective against those in your?
It is effective even against the Delhi strain and the Prague strain of MRSA. It is effective against. We have not seen any antibiotic resistance to that water.
That's an incredible thing. That's a real incredible. Just on its own, outside of the drinking water, just to have that function is incredible. Let's go to the questions here. Okay, we have the screen. Okay. This is coming from Roger Gadet. And he says, I want to tell you it was an absolute honor for you to be in the audience in Hawaii to hear my story about the Gulf War syndrome. And thank you for your kind words said to me afterwards. I always remember it. And thanks again for all you do. I guess not a question, but Roger, of course, is a big fan. What do we have here else? Will we receive a replay? Yes, there will be a replay to this webinar. We post all of the trainings and education on the prosperityandhealthalliance.com. You can look under videos or past trainings, and there's a whole section, and all of these will be up there. This will be up here, and you can share it freely. It's of no charge. It's a service to everybody who would like to witness it, and I think it's great to have Dr. Filzer on here this evening. Do we have any other questions? Kim, do you see any other questions here? Okay. Oh yes, here's one from Marty Jensen. It says, after using the 2.5, I'm assuming this is on a wound or a cut or something, do you have to neutralize?
No, because you have the charge to the water, the ORP, it decays over time. And the pH of that water is evanescent. It goes away. It's not strongly buffered. So there's no tissue damage and you don't have to neutralize it. It kind of neutralizes itself.
And about how long do you think it's effective after it's been produced?
Well, I like to, actually I've measured it. I don't like to use the water after 48 hours. I will frequently give patients water to use when they change their dressings and so on and so forth. But I make them come back every 48 hours and get a fresh bottle, because then you're depending on the ORP to be high to be most effective.
Great. Here's an unusual question. So we'll throw it out there. Can we recommend a pH application to combat premature hair loss or alopecia, internal or externally?
I haven't got the faintest idea. I'm sorry. I will say this. I think that beauty water is a great product, that pH of 4.5. Yeah, 4.5. Because it does kind of tighten up the skin pores and so on. I don't know what it would do for your hair. I still got my hair and I'm 77, so I'm lucky. All of my male members in my family were bald, so I'm the only guy who's got hair. I don't know what to tell you, but you know what they say, can't hurt.
Now here's a question. It's a little loaded, so I don't know if we can answer this, but it says, why is the water so helpful with autism, and how do we know that the 2.5 water is at its highest potential? So it's two questions there. This is from Fern.
I would have to refer you to some experts in the autism field. There is a Dr. Corinne Allen, who is a great natural health physician, and she deals with autism and cerebral palsy and all kinds of neurologic disorders that conventional medicine has sort of said we can't help you anymore. And she uses the water widely. She uses 9.5 for these people to drink, occasionally some 11.5, although the company position on that is that it shouldn't be drunk. And the results that she gets with these patients are absolutely remarkable. Google her name, Corinne Allen, ND, naturopathic doctor. You know, neurology is a great field, but there's a lot of diseases that can't do squat about, autism included. And she gets good results. She says that the water is the most important tool that she has. On the other hand, I'm also convinced that because of her and the fact that, you know, Hippocrates said you've got to lay on hands, you've got to touch your patient, you've got to inspire them, you've got to be constantly involved with them, and she gets incredible results. Now, about the 2.5, I think the 2.5 is strictly a topical agent. You can't drink it, although it's probably no more acidic than 2/3 of, you know, the soda drinks. But that's a topical agent against bacterial sanitation. It is a wonderful surface agent. It passes all the EPA standards for surface sanitation and sterilization. So that's about it.
And Dr. Corinne Allen, that's CORINNEALLEN, and I think she's also available at brainadvance.org for those who are looking. But if you search her out or type in with Kagen water or autism, you will find her relatively quickly, and she is doing incredible work. Next question. Just try, it looks like there's two kind of questions that, okay, there are other manufacturers claim the higher pH isn't necessary to alkalize one's body and the water doesn't do that. What do you say about that?
Well, you can alkalize the body in a variety of ways. You know, to take bicarbonate of soda, you can do all kinds of different things. You can take a strong alkaline diet, for example. But look at it this way. The water produces a pH that you can measure. It has an ORP you can measure. And it is actually capable of altering the pH. There is a experiment in a dog model, which is published at NIH.gov, where the dogs are rendered to be profoundly acidotic by basically having their kidneys removed. And when they get to a critical pH that is literally so low that it may be fatal, when they get alkaline ionized water put in their stomach or in their peritoneal cavity, you can't give it intravenously, their pH returns to normal much quicker than if they were given sodium bicarbonate. So it works. That's all I gotta say.
Someone else asked for the, what's the website for the book again? That's www.kangenwaterstorelv.com. So for those who are asking about that. So, here's a question from Mary Ave, and she's asking, first off, she wants to thank you for all that you do for the company, and she wants to know if it's okay to use 2.5 as a mouthwash on a daily basis.
It's an excellent idea. Absolutely. It's not a problem at all. Doesn't do anything to the enamel of your teeth. It is terrific antibacterial. And again, won't injure your mucous membranes. It's great.
And you don't need to
don't swallow it.
And you don't need to rinse afterwards.
No.
Okay. Someone else was going to ask that, so. Here's another. We've got some loaded ones here. I've heard that if a person is well hydrated, they will not have a heart attack. Is that correct?
Well, I hate to tell you, we call that the Harvard death. You know, all your numbers are totally in line and you drop dead the next day. I mean, nothing is going to change your genetic makeup, okay? And many, probably a majority of people who are getting heart attacks have some genetic component, a high cholesterol, family history, and then of course there's lifestyle. I mean, you can't pick your genes, but you can pick your way you live. If you smoke, which is the worst thing that you can do for your health, you can't change your diabetes because that's genetic. But if you smoke and then certain other bad lifestyles, I'm a firm believer that wine is one of God's blessings for a human being. But 4 bottles a day is not a good thing. It's like anything else in moderation. It's generally okay. So the water will not prevent your heart attack. The water will, however, help you live a better life in that it will protect a lot of the things from happening to you by virtue of pH balance and good hydration. Good hydration alone, devoid of kind of water, just drinking good, clean water is important. There are studies in the hundreds and the thousands in Europe and in other places where it's been determined that, people with chronic diseases are chronically dehydrated, people in nursing homes, and when you change that around, the quality of life improves.
Let's see here. I put 2.5 on a lady's wound and it caused her a lot of pain and she was understandably resentful. What do you do for this problem?
Well, let me say this. I have never in my entire practice had a complaint of pain when I put the water on a wound. Never. And I'm not, saying I'm not a naysayer, but I find that exceedingly unusual. Now, there is wound pain de novo. I mean, some wounds are painful. And if you touch them or you put pressure on them, they're painful. But the water per se causing pain on a wound, sorry, I can't substantiate that. And I'm not talking about a few cases here. I mean, I treat 5,000 patients a year. I'm sorry.
Excellent response. Is it true that it's not good to drink alkalized water every day?
It's not true.
All right. Let's see. I think we've covered all the questions. We're coming up to the top of the hour. So, any final conclusions that you would like to, if you could sum up all of you've been with the company and with this project for 9 years. You've answered a lot of questions. You're doing a lot of research. Hopefully we're going to continue research, and we're definitely going to support the sales of the book from the Prosperity and Health Alliance, and also see if we can get some more funding. I think it's relevant, and I think it's part of the global mission, and it's our responsibility as humans to, if we found something that's this productive. Can you summarize what would you say? Someone comes to you and they say, what's your take on Kangen water from your background as a medical doctor?
I would say that Kagen water is a very important adjunct to a program of overall good health care, preventative medicine, and a concept of using the water and diet, exercise to improve the quality of your life. And it does that by having the three basic properties, which is the ability to change your acidic pH to be a strong and powerful antioxidant, and also to have the ability to be absorbed much more quickly and more efficiently into your system. And based on that, that differentiates it from ordinary water.
Fantastic. Dr. Filtzer, it's always a pleasure. One of my most favorite people to chat with. I know I always pull you aside as soon as I see you at any one of the events. I wish you continued good health and continued success with your research. We'll be talking more about this book here, Kangen Water. If you don't have a copy, don't buy one, buy a bundle, share it with your friends. You can get it at kangenwaterstorelv.com. I've actually put it in here. It'll also be on the show notes in the bottom of the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your contribution. I know that you work diligently on this. It's just a pleasure to know you, and I feel grateful that our paths have crossed, and so much that you've done for us and for our company. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, Horst. It's just such an honor to have you on our show.
You're my man. I love you.
Love you too. Take care and have a wonderful evening.
Bye-bye.